The first step to becoming successful, in my opinion, is fixing your habits. As a matter of fact, this is not just my opinion, this is a fact of life. If you come from nothing and you come from the lowest of life, trust me, you've picked up bad habits growing up. You've picked up a poverty mindset. And for you to go from nothing to something, you have to change fundamentally. You have to go through a phase of change, complete change. When you look at a successful person and compare them to a non-successful person, and you look at them fundamentally, there is always obvious differences in the way they behave and the way they carry themselves. And one word that a lot of people sort of understand between a successful person and a not so successful person is mindset. What is mindset? Pretty much habit, the way they think. There's a saying that a man is the way he thinks. And if you want to be successful, you have to first fix your habits. And this is what I'm going to talk about in this video. I recently had a thought that if you've always wanted wealth, you've always wanted to be successful, and you are above the age of 20 and you're not successful yet, and you also do not have a path, a clear path that you think will make you successful, then you're not going to be successful if you don't fix your habit. If above the age of 20 you're not yet successful, this means that you still have some fundamental issues, which is your habit. I'm 24 years old, and I've only recently discovered that one of the reasons why I'm still in the position I'm in, even though I've always wanted success, is due to my habit, due to who I am fundamentally. If, let's say, someone who comes from nothing wants to be successful and they don't fix their habit, there's also one other option. If they mingle with successful people, in that case, what would happen is that their habit would naturally change without them trying to change it. Because they say iron sharpeneth iron. If you hang around millionaire, you become millionaire. You don't become millionaire just because you hang around millionaire. You become millionaire because the habits of successful people rubs on you, and without knowing, your habit actually starts changing. However, for most of us, we are not presented with the luxury of being able to hang out with millionaires. For the most part, you will only be able to see millionaires on the internet, and you would have no access to them. This leaves you with only one option, the option of changing yourself. The option of fixing your own habits. Until you fix your habits, you would not grow. Because not fixing your habits and trying to be successful or aspiring to be successful is like building a mansion on a very, very weak foundation. It would not stand. You can't build success on nothing. You need a foundation. This is why I've been thinking recently. Well, obviously, I've been going through changes. I think I've been going through changes. My entire life, I thought books are useless and I don't need to read books. But recently, I've read 3 books, and these books have sort of changed my perspective. The first one I read is Atomic Habits, because I believe that I have habits holding me back in life, and that's the first thing I try to change. When you change your habits, it becomes a lot easier to change your life. When you change your habits and they align with success, it becomes easier to attain success. It becomes a lot easier to attain the things you want in life. So, what are some things you can start to do to change your habits to build a foundation that success can grow on? I have 4 things here that I think are very, very important. These are the things that even I have started to implement in my own life. Number one thing, and probably the most important one, is to start reading books. There is a report I saw online sometimes that The average millionaire reads a book every month. Meaning, if you want to be successful, you cannot escape reading books. Because books are like the millionaire friend you don't have. People that wrote book or people that pour their knowledge into books have gained vast experience. And then they put the most important ones inside of a book. Books, good ones, are like manuals to life. The idea that you don't have the luxury of having someone tell you, you can find in book. If you don't have a mentor, a book can get you close to having a physical person mentor you. That is how good books are. So one thing you need to start changing is reading books. And you need to read books fast because there's a ton of books you'd have to go through. So you need to read it as fast as possible. The second thing you need to adopt, the second habit that I think you need to adopt is break your addictions. So addictions like scrolling through Instagram, checking YouTube videos all the time, watching meaningless podcasts, all these habits, you need to break them. But the thing with the human mind is that we cannot just break an habit and do nothing. We have to replace our bad habits with something else. So in this case, when you are changing your habit, you need to replace them with something that is beneficial to your life. So when you don't scroll on TikTok, you have to read a book. When you're not watching a podcast, you have to start writing. When you're not checking or trying to eat on some Instagram models, you have to do something more tangible, something that would benefit your life. The third thing, which is also very, very important, is keeping the promise you make to yourself, aka doing what you say you will do. If you say you will get up at 5 a.m., make sure you get up at 5 a.m. If you say you will do 10 push-ups, make sure you do 10 push-ups. If you say you will do a task, make sure you do a task, or make sure you do that task. If you say you're going to make 10 sales calls, make sure you do 10 sales calls. The reason why keeping your promise to yourself is very, very important is because when you keep promises to yourself, you sort of tell the universe that you are ready to start taking the things that belong to you in life. So when you keep simple promises to yourself, like, I need to do this task and I'm going to do this task, and you do that task, the next time you dream of something, the universe is going to give it to you because you've always kept promises to yourself. This is one of the most important acts to life. Do things that you promise yourself. Once you say you're doing something, make sure you do it. This is very, 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 very important. I cannot stress it enough. The fourth thing, and one of the most important one, is to think less and start doing. Think less and do more. Oh shit. Think less and do more. Many people are in the habit of thinking and not doing anything. This is the poor person habit. Rich people do things, they don't think as much as poor people do. Poor people take too much time thinking. Oh, I'm going to start this project, then I'll do this, and then I'll do that. The first thing you need to do to go from the position you're at right now to an unimaginable position as soon as possible is to start doing things as fast as possible. Once you have an idea, you need to execute on it quickly, as fast as humanly possible. Do these 4 things, and I guarantee you'll start to see some improvements in your life.